Hey guys, Grandpa John coming at you with another Diablo Immortal video. This video is going to be kind of an example of how to really push the challenge rifts with the Demon Hunter, as well as take a little bit of this information, maybe apply it to your own build, because it's going to be kind of the same thought process and concept when I go ahead and I break down the skills, the gems that I'm using, and I'll show you a little bit of the gameplay of what I'm doing when I'm doing these higher end challenge rift runs. All right, so like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna walk you through the process of me doing a challenge rift run, and also the skills that I'm gonna be using, the gems that I'm gonna be using, my current rank as far as combat rating goes, and kind of what I focused on to really help me progress and get this challenge rift. Before I do that, I'll go ahead and show you where I'm at. I'm currently only at level 36. I'm actually ranked second in our server, and as you can see here, Smiley TK, who is also in our guild, is our number one demon hunter. And honestly, I think I could probably push all the way up to at least 38, maybe even 39 at the current moment. And his combat rating is about 200 more than mine, so definitely keep that in mind, because I'm pretty sure I can get pretty close to where he's at. So let's go talk about what I have on my build, and that way you guys can maybe apply that and understand why I picked what I did. So let's talk first about the gems. So we will talk more about the legendaries that I'm using, because those are going to be more pertaining to my particular skills. I feel like gems are going to be more pertaining to you as a player for all the other builds that you're doing out there that aren't necessarily the Demon Hunter build. So when we first talk about gems, I was very lucky. I've gotten 2 5-star gems. Granted, they are not the best of the best for the 5-star gems. I did get a rank 2 out of 5 Seeping Bile that I've ranked up to level 3. I did get a what did I get? A Blood-Soaked Jade, which is ranked up to 2. I currently have 1 more. I'm trying to wait until I get enough gems to upgrade that to rank 3 as well. But those are the only 5-star gems that I have on my build. I have a 2-star gem that is Bloody Reach, and I also have a 2-star gem which is Fervent Fang. My Berserker Eye is level 10, and my Kasarns is also level 10. Now, these play a specific role that I'm gonna go ahead and talk about now. So, Kasarns Invigoration increases resonance by 154, plus 44 combat rating, increase the speed of your primary attack by 16%, then damage and the damage of your primary attack by 2%. Increased chance to find magic items. We don't care about the magic find. It is absolutely null and void. However, what we do care about is the fact that we can do primary attack by 16%, and as far as the speed and the added damage. The reason why is because with this gem, what that allows me to do is you are always spamming your primary ability. In my case, I have a primary ability that shoots through enemies. Okay, so by having this particular gem in here, that allows me to cycle through my primary faster, because you're always spamming your primary, and it allows me to shoot through more enemies in a row. So as long as I line them up, I can kite them backwards and shoot them all in a row and destroy them. Now, this may not apply to characters such as the monk, probably not even the barbarian, but other characters this will be very impactful for. Now, the next gem we're going to talk about, because we're going to start with the level 1s, or the 1-star ones, is going to be the Berserker's Eye. Now, the reason why we're going to talk about the Berserker Eye is because this is another one that is a give and a take situation. So what this one does for you is it increases all damage you deal by 16%, and increases your critical hit chance by 2%, but also increases all damage you take by 5%. This does in fact make you more squishy. So it's going to be up to you if you go full damage build, or if you get some vitality to offset that 5% of the Berserker Eye. That's going to be totally up to you. And honestly, I haven't started min-maxing that, and if I did, I may see a better result if I were to negate essentially that 5% more damage by adding 5% more HP than my current build has. The 16% damage though increase is going to be a massive increase, and the critical hit chance by 2% is also amazing, because when you crit, you do a massive amount of damage. So it's kind of like it's just thinking of the amount of damage that's possible goes up astronomical, which is very, very, very worth it. Next one we're going to talk about is going to be the Bloody Reach. Now, the reason why we're using Bloody Reach is because your attack deals 3.4% increased damage for every 2 yards between you and the enemy. I am a demon hunter, so all my abilities are ranged abilities, so I'm about 2 yards between me and my target. When running higher challenge rifts, you want to not be anywhere near them, so that way it gives you more time to react, to move out of the way, as well as it gives you more time to not get hit by the melee enemies, right? So this one is absolutely perfect for a demon hunter. It's also going to be good for like the necro. Once again, not great for a monk, probably not going to be good for a bard build either. But it is very, very, very impactful for the demon hunter. Also, it's a maximum increase of 13.6% at 8 yards. In addition, your attacks have a 0.3% chance to slow enemy movement by 35%. Note that basically, because once again, we're doing challenge rifts, they're hard. Slowing the enemy to control them and funnel them more and more and more is so impactful in any build for doing higher challenge rifts when they're above your threshold for your combat rating. All right, the next gem that we're going to talk about is going to be the Fervent Fang gem. Now, this one can kind of get switched in and out depending on the build that you're using. In my case, I'm using it because each time you damage an enemy, increases the damage it takes from your attacks by 1.05% up to a maximum of 10.5. So at 10 ticks, they take 10% more damage, and also increases all damage you deal to elite monsters by 1.5. The reason why I'm running this one is because when you're doing challenge rifts and you are already shooting faster because you are synergizing that with your Kasarns, that means that you're taking your Kasarns, you're shooting faster with your primary, and for every 10 ticks, you are doing more damage up to 10.5%. This also scales even higher with your elite monsters, and those are the ones that allow you to summon the final boss quicker and faster. So essentially what you're doing is you're synergizing the Fervent Fang here with the Kasarns, and this is allowing you to do a lot more damage and ramp up your damage output. That's why I can just melt bosses with my build, is because of this. The other thing that really helps me melt the bosses is because I have the Bloody Reach, right, which is doing more damage because I'm doing it from afar, I'm doing it faster, I'm getting 10 ticks. It's also moving into the Blood-Soaked J. Increase all damage you deal up to 10.5% and your movement speed by 10% with less damage bonus the lower your life to a minimum of 5.25%. So what that means is it increases all your damage you deal by 10.5%. So as long as you're full health, you're doing an additional 10.5% on top of all those other mechanics that are going on. So we're just synergizing everything in these bottom four here is just 100% synergizing, and then the Berserker Eye just adds more damage, right? And it also increases your movement speed by 10% with less damage bonus to lower your life. So as long as you stay at a higher health rate, which you have to be anyways because you're doing greater risks, you're gonna be 2-shot and dead. So you already are running at max health. So you're not so much worried about the lack of movement speed, but you're going to be gaining that 10.5% damage, which is really what's impactful. The last one we're going to talk about is going to be this last one, which is just going to be Seeping Bile. This is just all around a good one to use. I think almost any character is really going to use this. The Monk especially, this is a must-have for a Monk. Your attacks have a 4% chance to poison enemies, inflicting 30% base damage plus 263 every second for 6 seconds, and decreasing movement speed by 6%. This poison spreads in nearby enemies. If the victim dies, cannot affect the same target more than once every 20 seconds. The reason why this is so good is because, yes, I do understand it's a 4% chance to land the poisons. However, if those poisons land, it goes on everyone. The other thing to note is we are already shooting faster, right? So our primary is going faster. This gets a chance to tick every shot. So we're just doing a massive amount of damage, Oh, Seeping Bile comes in and does even more damage. So definitely keep that in mind in the back of your thought process on which gems you want to be using. I went over the gems first because I wanted the viewers who are not necessarily playing a demon hunter to have the synergetic ideas that I'm telling you. So that way you can kind of, as we're watching the rest of this video, as I'm going through this, you can kind of have it in the back of your head, okay, what gems are going to benefit me the most on my particular build? So right now, my build works really, really well because I have all these gems. Yes, they are a little bit higher level. I do have some resonance on both of these as well. They're not like massive gem resonance, right? Like I don't have them at 20. I've got it up to, what is this, 4, and I think the other one's at like 6, which just helped me, which actually has put my my combat rating at 1169. Nice. Which is kind of helpful. However, if we look at the actual stats of my gear, it's not the greatest, but it's still pretty decent. I do have one piece of gear that has the 3 attributes, which is what you're looking for on your legendaries. But let's go ahead and let's talk about the legendary gear that I'm using and why I'm using it for the Demon Hunter. So, for one, I'm using the helm, which is the only helm I've been able to get. I've yet to get another helm until we get it from the login, but it's the one I want anyways. During Vengeance, each defeated enemy increases the remaining duration of Vengeance by 0.2 seconds, with a maximum of 2.4 seconds. That's great because Vengeance has a fairly long cooldown. The other one that we have here is going to be under the Vengeance cooldown decreased by 15%, Vengeance cooldown decreased by 10%. So we're decreasing Vengeance by 25%, and we're extending it with this one, with kills. So we're synergizing our Vengeance because Vengeance does the most damage for us, especially when pulling or pushing these challenge rifts. The next skill that we have, or the next legendary we have here, is going to be the Pauldron's shoulders. Now there's 2 shoulders that are worth it on this one. This one is the one I've been using. It seems to work the best for me. Is Shadow Beast that continually drop bombs in an area. It seems to work really, really well because what I can do is I can pull them all together, kite backwards, drop this, and then bombs just rain on them the whole time as they come straight towards me, and then I shoot through them because I have a lot of armor penetration. The next one we're going to talk about is going to be the pant legs. Now the pant legs, the one I'm using here, is once again during Vengeance. Every 2 primary attacks will cause you to launch 1 additional rocket. So once again, we're doing a lot of Vengeance synergetic stuff here. We're decreasing the cooldown of Vengeance, and then now we're doing even more damage with our Vengeance because we're letting it shoot out a rocket. We're also shooting faster because we get the gem that makes us shoot faster on our primaries. The last couple that we're going to talk about are going to be a little bit different. These are going to affect other abilities, and that's going to be the flaming arrow, which allows multi-shot now fires flaming arrows that damage and burn enemies. This is to kind of synergize with the seeping bile, so that way not only are they getting poison ticks, they're also getting burn ticks, which also helps just dot them and knock their health down faster. Last but not least here is going to be the crossbow shot will now pierce through enemies and strike additional enemies behind. This is really, really what synergizes well, because crossbow shot, for those of you who are not familiar with the Demon Hunter, that is actually my main ability. So once again, we're cycling through our main abilities super fast because we have the gems, we have everything else synergizing great. Now our crossbow shot is shooting through multiple enemies, and we already have armor penetration on almost all my pieces of gear over here, as far as like the ones that I can actually have it. As you see here, any blue sockets have armor penetration on them, and that's pretty much all I am rocking when it comes to that. Definitely recommend it. It works very well for my build currently. I have not been lucky enough to get these items situated here, but eventually I will, and it'd be great. My charm is useless. I don't even use explosive arrow. Explosive arrow would potentially work for this. However, when you get to the boss, explosive arrow is not going to be very impactful. Now, let's go talk about the challenge rift. And actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and do this. You know what? We'll do level 36. We'll see. You know what? We'll see if we can't do it live and go actually push forward and beat level 36. Hopefully I don't misplay this. But the thing that I'm going to be paying attention to is, one, I'm going to be going as fast as I can straight up to the enemies, and I'm going to start attacking them from further away. Notice the further I get back, the more damage they do. Notice they're getting their burning ticks, they got the poison ticks there, and as I get further and further away, they take more and more damage. Once again, we got Vengeance already up, and we're just destroying them. The idea here is that we kite, we go in, we start luring them back there. We use our abilities as we need to. The other thing to note here is I'm running knockback shot, I'm using Vengeance, I'm using multi-shot, and I'm using rain because they synergize so well. Knockback shot is my oh crap, I'm in trouble ability, so I try to use that when I have to. You'll notice when I get into bigger mobs that I will kite them around more and use it more and more depending on what it is. I'm also making sure that I do not get touched by these guys. Because what will happen is, well, I will basically be a two-shot whip at this point because the Demon Hunter does a lot of damage. As you saw, I focused all my build on damage. However, I don't personally have a whole lot of HP. So notice I was able to use that knockback shot and go ahead and knock them out of the way. And I actually grouped them up and was able to do a full circle kite on that and keep moving forward. We are currently a little under the what I'm looking for as far as the timing goes. Notice that the bar above my head, the blue bar there, ideally you want to always be above that because you need a lot of time to destroy these enemies. And that was also really bad. I can't believe I just took that hit. Wow, I about wiped there. That would have been embarrassing. Thank you, I'll take that health globe, I kind of need it. All right, we're actually getting very unlucky. Usually by now I've already gotten a blue, which is helpful, but notice I am trying to stay away from the enemies as far as I can. Not only because, well, you know, you don't want to get hit, you want to dip, duck, dodge, and dodge, you know, the 5 Ds of dodgeball, but you also want to just make sure that you're utilizing your gems. Your gems are extremely helpful. Now, it doesn't mean that my playstyle is perfect. Notice that sometimes I will misplay. And honestly, that'll happen. But the nice thing is this build is fairly forgiving and allows me to do that. As you can see here, that worked out just fine. And I was able to avoid taking too much unnecessary damage. Now, if we can just destroy those blues, that would be great. Go ahead and pop my ultimate because we're gonna refresh it again before we get to the point where we get the boss. I really wish we could auto target better as far as who and where your attacks go. It'd be really cool if my potion would not be on cooldown anymore. I'm just throwing that out there. But once again, as long as I keep my distance, it's okay. I'm able to react pretty fast and hopefully not take nearly as much damage as I normally would. Now, there are other abilities that would possibly work here. If I were to even say I could change my knockback to actually do bombardments, which would seek them out, would be kind of like having a upgraded Rain of Vengeance. I could also be dropping Sentry. Yeah, see that right there? The blues behind hit me from the ranged attack. But if I had my Sentry as well, I could do possibly a Sentry build that would allow me to get out of dodge a little easier. Even Smokescreen would be kind of okay as long as you have the legendary that synergizes with Smokescreen. I do have that, but I don't enjoy that playstyle, to be quite honest with you guys. I'm more of a rush in, kite backwards, and hopefully dodge a little bit. Hopefully my reaction times are a little better. It is funny though, as we're sitting here talking and going through this fight and recording at the same time, it's totally different than when you're just dedicated and you're in there. I'm doing a lot more thinking to kind of explain more of my actions than I am just going ahead and going through that, because I feel like that'd be pretty boring if I didn't tell you exactly what I was attempting to do here with this fight. But the other thing to note here is I am constantly smashing my basic ability. I'm not really letting up too much on it unless obviously there's no enemies. But it works really well to synergize that. Notice they all went through that burning Rain of Vengeance there from the bombardment, and that's how they all caught on fire. So that was also super helpful, especially with that multi-shot that does a lot of damage to them. Rain of Vengeance is also active. I'll kind of use that now to get me out of trouble because they're moving faster and these are the ranged people. Unfortunately, ranged characters are they're a little harder to dodge. I honestly feel really bad for the monks because they have to be up and personal, so they have to deal with honestly a lot faster reaction times than what I have to deal with as a demon hunter currently. And right now I've got myself in a big problem, and I know I was relying way too heavily on that shrine. I was trying to see if I couldn't get them grouped up better so that way I could use this ulti faster, but it's just not gonna do it for me, I don't think. Oh, maybe it will. Maybe it's gonna work out just fine. It did. Okay, that worked out about what I expected it to work out. Allowed me to get the blues out here. I'm trying to avoid that yellow. So normally when you're trying to solo do a rift, right, you always want to target the blues so that way you can get the boss faster. However, blues, when it comes to doing challenge rifts, solo challenge rifts, they're a lot harder. It's a lot harder to just run past the enemies, take a couple of hits, because the problem is you can't take a whole lot of hits when you're doing these solo. And yeah, unfortunately it's just not going to work out. So I'm actually going to try to avoid that yellow altogether if I can, and maybe if I kill this mob, it'll get me dead. It'll get me closer to another mob that'll get me right there, which it looks like it will. It looks like if I kill these blues right here, it'll be GG and we'll be fine as far as all that goes. Don't, please stop targeting that. I need you to target behind. Thank you. Problems with doing a mobile game is, you know, aiming these sometimes do not work great, and knockback was not helpful in that situation. Just like that, that's not what you want to see. Not when you're trying to showcase it. So I'm sorry, I apologize. All right, there we go. Now we get the boss to spawn. Oh really, we're one away. Okay, cool. That was cute. Now the boss spawns. All right, so this gives us a little bit of time here. Not a whole lot of time, honestly, to deal with this. I'm about 3/4 the way up on my ultimate bar. Oh, this is, I guess this isn't the worst one to have, but it's not the ideal one that I really want. The sandstorm seems to work the best, honestly, for this kind of content as far as bosses go. It could be worse, though. It could be the queen. She's definitely by far the worst one to deal with. But yeah, we almost got this one down. We really need to proc our ultimate here. This is where a Crusader's banner would be super impactful at the moment. And even then, a chakram would be awesome as well. That's usually what I was running until I figured out at these higher levels. Unfortunately, the chakram just doesn't work as well as I'd like it to with these higher mobs, because sometimes I really just need them to get out of the way and let me get by them. So having that knockback to kind of group them up better works out super impactful as far as that goes. All right, there's our ulti, and he's gonna come down here. Thank you. Now we can just do a lot of damage to him. Okay, vengeance needs to land on him, please. Yep, that was unfortunate. I put myself in a corner. That's not the ideal gameplay that you guys are really trying to see. Let's come back up here, please. Thank you. But notice I am trying to do everything I can to keep them at bay, away from me, so that way I do more and more damage. When I'm up close and personal, when he jumps at me, notice that the amount the bar actually goes down for damage wise isn't nearly as much as it is when I'm at least the 6 meters away. And that's because I'm no longer synergizing everything else that I have going on. I'm also making sure that my abilities stay on cooldown after a certain rotation for damage. Now I'm almost, ooh, this one we may not get this one. We may run just a little bit at a time. We'll see. I think those last couple wipes definitely hurt us as far as our time goes. We may not make this one, unfortunately, but it's okay. I think you kind of understand the premise behind this as far as what we're trying to do for damage wise. Yeah, because nope, we're not gonna make it. I have to have an ultimate right now and then some. Yep, we failed. But yeah, as you can see here, we failed, unfortunately, but just barely. I hate that. Man, I was trying to record this for a YouTube video and see what happens. Notice that we got some skills up ready, and he's on his last leg here. We're about 4 wipes in. That shouldn't have happened, and he would have been dead. I'm gonna kill him anyway. It's just because I want to know about how hard it was, because that's part of it. Is when you're trying to do these type of things, you really want to see exactly what it took to beat him, so that way you know about what you need to prepare or get ready. Whether it's I got to talking, stop paying attention. Whether it's just a mechanic change or if it's just hey, stop recording a YouTube video and everything. I was not inside any of those circles. And he's dead. All right, well, I'm gonna chalk this up to recording a YouTube video, or maybe I'm just chalked, who knows. All right, that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully that helped you. I apologize, I guess that was not the example that you guys were looking for, but hopefully this still helps you as far as understanding more of what you're trying to do to push these challenge rifts. I'll probably be checking in and making another video later. I definitely plan on getting to at least 39, maybe even 40 before reset. So maybe if I get to 40, I'll record another video kind of talking about what I did or what I changed. But hopefully this helps you. Hopefully that puts you in the mindset of what you need to do for challenge rifts. The reason why you want to be pushing these also is for these enigmatic crystals. You need all of these as much as you can all the time. So to keep that in mind and always be pushing your challenge rifts. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.